Right, so hello, welcome back to the channel, and every single year I have to see every single YouTuber's Premier League predictions for the season and how they're going to get them all right, and they always get them so badly wrong. It just makes me wonder if they do this for a dare, or if they see what outrageous and stupid thing that they could say that they just get away with it. But this list, it's different.
Are you sure about that?
And that's because, look, I'm not going to guarantee you 20 out of 20, but I do guarantee you a minimum of 10 correct predictions.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
And I'm that confident that every single one that I get wrong at the end of the season, I will do a video where I get hot-arsed for the amount that I get wrong. But that's not going to be a video that I ever make because I'm not going to get that many wrong. Maybe I'll get one or two and it's going to be the world's shortest video, but I'm feeling pretty confident about this. But before we get into that, if you can like, share and subscribe, that would help the channel out immensely. We're trying to grow it as quick and as big as possible. Cheers. 20th Sheffield United. I kid you not when I say this is the easiest prediction in the list. I mean, Sheffield United are not cooking whatsoever because they got rid of Ndiaye, their best striker, which they said they did reluctantly. Just don't sell him then. And then they just sold Sanderberg to Burnley, their promotion rivals. Easy 20th. 19th, Luton. Look, I want to put Luton higher up. I really do.
Do it.
But their squad is just so thin. I know that they've added Chong and they've just got Ross Barkley as well, but it's just not enough to stay in the Premier League in my opinion. And sadly, I think they'll finish 19th. At least it's not last. 18th, Bournemouth. I know that everyone, including myself as well, but you didn't know me at the time, so I can lie about that. But I predicted Bournemouth to go down last season, as did everyone else. And the fact that Gary O'Neill, of all people as well, kept them up after Scott Parker let them get beaten 9-0 at Liverpool at Anfield. And then they've just replaced him with a Spanish manager who got mid-table with Real Vallecano. It just makes no sense. And yeah, they stayed up last year, but I don't foresee them doing the same miracles that really kept them up. And I just see an imbalance in the squad. 18th for me. 17th, Wolves. I could very well put Wolves in the relegation zone over Bournemouth. It is so close, even really close with them and Luton as well. They've lost Ruben Neves. Raul Jimenez, yes, he wasn't what he was, but they've also lost him. They've lost integral parts of their squad. Julian Lopetegui has now exited the club. They've got Gary O'Neill, and I've just sang his praises in, and I think he'll be the reason that they actually stay up. The Wolves project is a mess, it's dead, and they badly need a restart, but they will be clinging on to stay in the Premier League this year. 16th, Everton. Everton have no superstars. They've got a bang average squad, a manager who does bang average things in Sean Dyche. Yes, he'll keep them up, but they're not going to do anything special. They're going to go out early in both cups, and it's just going to be a frustrating season for them. 16th. 15th, Nottingham Forest. Last year was kind of disappointing for Nottingham Forest. I mean, a lot of people had a lot of big things expected from them, but they got their transfers all wrong. They brought in players that they didn't need, and they paid massive wages to them. They brought the likes of Dean Henderson on loan, Keylor Navas on loan, and Jesse Lingard on a one-year deal for £200,000 a week, and it worked, but it didn't really work. And they've not done anything too crazy. I mean, look, they've brought in Matt Turner, who is a pretty solid goalkeeper from Arsenal, and at the same time they've brought in Elanga, who I think is going to work brilliantly with Brennan Johnson and Morgan Gibbs-White up top, and they've even got Chris Wood up there as well as a plan B or a different way of playing. So 15th and meh kind of season. 14th, West Ham. I think West Ham are extremely lucky that there are so many other clubs that are a lot worse than them. Because, alright, you lost your captain, your leader, who you think is your best player, Declan Rice, even though he's not, Paqueta is, and he might go as well. But you got 105 mil for him. If Paqueta does leave, you're getting 70 mil plus for him. And you got a lot of money to play with, but you're not bringing anyone of any real quality in. And your squad, it's flat. Bringing in McTominay would be a coup. James Ward-Prowse as well would be an excellent addition into that midfield, especially for set pieces. But he's not just a set piece taker, is he? He's brilliant all round. And Maguire to West Ham is a brilliant move. I know he gets memed a lot, but West Ham, it's his sort of level. But with the uncertainty of David Moyes and a very weird transfer window, I can't see them getting any higher than 14th. 13th, Fulham. Was anyone else really pleasantly surprised by Fulham last season? I mean, they were a bit like Norwich in a way that they were a yo-yo club, and Norwich as well didn't get promoted, Fulham didn't get relegated, so I don't know if there's some weird yin and yang thing going on with those clubs. But Marco Silva's men, they stayed up, and they stayed up pretty comfortably as well, and I expect them to do so for this season coming up. Yes, they might lose Mitrovic. Willian signed and then left, or is not officially left. It's a weird one, but I still think that they've got enough quality within the squad to get a near top half finish. 13th. 12th, Crystal Palace. Let's not overthink this one. Crystal Palace are always about 11 for 12. They've just lost their best player in Wilfried Zaha. I mean, yes, that's going to free up Eze and Elise, and they've got the Brazilian wonder kid as well. They always finish 11 for 12. I'm going to take the gamble and say 12. 11th, Burnley. They won the championship so easy. I mean, they were relegated. They got a complete refresh, which is exactly what the club needed, and they will get 11th comfortably. They might even finish higher than that as well. I just think that the squads above them have that little bit more quality and that little bit more Premier League experience. But Vincent Kompany's men are going to do well. The addition of Zanderberg is perfect, but the loss of Nathan Tella will hurt the club. 10th, Brentford. They're a breath of fresh air for the Premier League, and they really give me Swansea 2011 vibes. I think they might even go on a cup run as well this year. The only two negatives from last season going into this season is the fact that Ivan Toney, arguably their best player, is suspended for the majority of the year, and they've just lost Raya, their #1 goalkeeper. But I think they'll be able to replace those two guys, obviously two of their better players, but Daniel Farke is one of the best coaches in the league, and I think they'll get 10th and they'll have a run at the League Cup, I'll say. 9th, Brighton. I mean, the difference between Brighton and Brentford, Brighton can sell their star players and it doesn't seem to actually affect them in any way. De Zerbi is a brilliant manager, maybe even better than Thomas Frank. Billy Gilmour is going to have a standout season, and they've just got such a young attack force, and it's a really well-rounded squad. And 9th is the minimum I think they'll finish in. 8th, Aston Villa. This one I'm really second guessing, and I really think I've put them too low down because Emery's a genius. They just signed Diaby, they got Pau Torres with Diego Carlos at the back, as well as that on the other wing, if they could get Bailey up and running. Ollie Watkins has turned it into a goal-scoring machine, and you've obviously got John McGinn in there as well. The team's stacked, but obviously they're going to have European football, and you never know the toll that that could take on a team, so that is why I've put them in 8th. 7th, Newcastle. Last year I actually predicted that Newcastle would finish 6th, and the fact that they got top 4, I knew they would have a great season, but I didn't expect it to be that good. They've brought in squad depth in Livramento, Tonali and Harvey Barnes, but European football, but not only European football, Champions League football, it's going to drain them, and they can't play the same team over and over again. I really hope they bring in Tierney, another midfielder, and maybe another attacker as well. I'm gutted that they lost Alan St-Maximin. But I think the top 8's so close anyway, and it just so happens that I think Newcastle are going to finish 7th because of the Champions League. 6th, Man United. I actually don't think Man United are going to have a bad season. I think the defence is going to be a lot better with Onana, Varane and Martinez as that triangle at the back. But their fullbacks in Sean Dalot and Wan-Bissaka, I'm not settled by them. If they lose McTominay and Fred, they lose a lot of depth in that midfield area. And their attack force is so injury prone and inconsistent that, again, I'm not convinced by them. And they've got Champions League football. 6. 5th, Tottenham Hotspur. Originally I had Tottenham in the top 4, but they've dropped out just because of the quality of the other teams. But I think it's very close between them and 4th place. But I've watched Ange Postecoglou and I know what an Ange Postecoglou team looks like. He actually took a bit of time to get into his stride at Celtic. I mean, he lost 3 of his first 6 games, the first being to Hearts, so that was very nice. But Ange shores up defences and he plays lovely, free-flowing, attacking football, which is exactly what Tottenham need. And it looks like Kane's going nowhere. Kane will get a minimum of about 35-40 goals in all competitions, probably about 22, I would say, in the Premier League. Richarlison's going to have a great season, and Tottenham are in a really good position, especially with no European football as well. But just missing out on that top 4 finish. 4th, Liverpool. Liverpool, surprisingly, and probably have the best attack in the league. The likes of Salah, Diaz, Jota, Nunes, and then they've added the attacking presence of Szoboszlai. They got Gakpo in there as well, McAllister. Where they lack, though, is the midfield area especially. They've gotten rid of the likes of Henderson, Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Keita, and yes, they did bring in Szoboszlai and McAllister, but they've also got rid of Fabinho. And who's going to hold? Thiago? I know people are saying Trent's going to play in that position, but then who's going to go in defence? It's all very up in the air, but I'm going to give Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool the benefit of the doubt of maybe not the strongest defence of what it used to be, and the same with the midfield, with a very strong attack force, and of course Alisson in goal, who is the best goalkeeper in the league, just pipping Tottenham into 4th place. 3rd, Arsenal. At the end of last season, I really thought Arsenal were going to have a big drop-off, but I've seen what they've done in this transfer window, and it's really impressed me, other than how they treat Kieran Tierney. Either play him or just let him leave, please. They just won the Community Shield, even though it is a glorified friendly, but at the same time they won it. They've got a brilliant attack force in Saka, Martinelli, Trossard's in there, Gabby Jesus. They've added Havertz into there. Their midfield is solid with Declan Rice, Jorginho, Odegaard and Partey. Then you look at their defence, Zinchenko, White. Then you've got Timber, Saliba, not Gabriel, he's mincemeat. And then you've got a choice between Raya and Ramsdale. Very strong squad overall, especially with Champions League football. And I'm going to say 3rd this year. 2nd, Chelsea. I may have made this prediction before I heard that Nkunku's going to be out for so long, but I'm going to stick with it. Yeah, I'm sticking with it. Pochettino is a top 3 manager in the league. I think he's 2nd best, but I think you could rotate him, Klopp and Guardiola in any way that you kind of really want. So because of that, and the fact that they've trimmed a lot of the fat away from this team, I think Chelsea, they're going to excel, especially with no European football, like Tottenham in that regard as well. Their focus is purely going to be on the league, maybe an FA Cup in there as well, but they're really going to go for it, and I think they're going to push 1st place, who we all know at this point, but not quite get there. They're not quite ready yet, and if Nkunku's out for a while, they're not going to get there at all. 1st, Man City. What a boring end. I really wish I had something controversial at number 1, but I don't. It's Man City. They are the best team in the world at the minute. They've added Gvardiol, they've added Kovacic. I mean, they've not really lost. I know they lost Gundogan and that, but they've not really lost anyone. Mahrez maybe, but they've still got their squad depth. They still play under the same philosophy. Maybe they'll lose a step because they finally won that Champions League, but I think they'll be the first team in Premier League history to win 4 Premier Leagues in a row. don't overthink this one. So those are my predictions. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think Chelsea are too high up? Who do you think's too low down? How do you think the Premier League is going to shape up this year? I'd love to hear in the comments. Also, please like, please share, and please subscribe. I've used my manners, so you better do it now. Thank you so much for watching the video. Cheers.